All right, boys, we got a video by Zaytaku, The Art of the Copycat, and in the thumbnail, we had Kakashi-sensei from Naruto. We had Yuta Okotsu from Jujutsu Kaisen. Sendai Colony was peak, by the way. And lastly, we had Crollo Lucifer from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, Crollo, honestly, a pretty cool character. I feel like I haven't seen enough of him, but it's really just because I don't read the Hunter x Hunter manga. I'm still waiting for the anime to hopefully come back.
The copycat archetype is one of my favorite character types in anime. I don't know. There's just something so.
Bro, we can even go to like freaking I forget this. There's this basketball anime where there's this guy with yellow hair and he can like copy people's abilities. Like the copycat archetype in anime is honestly nice. Kuroko's basketball. Yeah, Kuroko's basketball. It's not Aomine. I forget like the guy with yellow hair's name. The only one I remember is really just Kuroko and like Aomine. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched Kuroko's basketball. Honestly, peak basketball anime though. Honestly, like I love the powers that everybody has. Murasaki had like really good defense and stuff. Like just a great anime, honestly.
Saucy about a character being able to copy others. Fighting someone.
Bro, I I swear. I didn't even get 5 seconds through this video. I straight up predicted it. Like honestly, bro. So yeah, this is Aomine, but the guy who actually
There's just
copies
something so saucy about a character being able to copy others.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Like I just don't remember his name, bro. I I guess he just wasn't that significant of a I don't even want to say he wasn't a significant character. It's just like it's been a while since I've watched Kuroko's basketball. I think it's been like 4 years.
Fighting someone and then they use your bag of tricks on you just does something to my soul. Oftentimes though, on paper, they act as like a jack of all trades.
Honestly, I think the copycat is like usually executed pretty great in anime. You could argue maybe not with Yuta as much, because I know a lot of people think Yuta's writing is kind of bad, and I would maybe partially agree. The issue with Yuta Kotsu is it's not really his copy technique, it's more so just as an overall character, it feels like he has everything and he has no flaws. Yeah.
Character.
But as like a copycat archetype, honestly, pretty chill. Like he still fits the archetype pretty well of a copycat.
With a limitless bag for whatever is needed. Because of that assumption though, a fine line needs to be drawn to make sure the character is balanced. If you have someone that can universally do everything with no caveats, how can they reasonably lose without it feeling cheap? So the best copy characters have rules, conditions, and limitations that balance out how absurdly broken they can be. And today,
oh yeah, for sure. It's always about balance, to be honest. I think with Crollo, he has to like touch you with a notebook or something. Like no, Crollo Lucifer from Hunter x Hunter, he has to keep open a specific page, or he has to like hold a notebook or something, or I don't remember his condition to copy actually. I think he has to like keep a book open, or he has to hold a part of somebody's clothing. I don't remember.
Today, we're going to discuss 6 of them. What they copy, how they copy, and most importantly, what stops them from winning.
Wait, Kisei. That's probably his name. I think the yellow-haired guy's name is Kisei. I think I just remembered.
Every single time. This video will contain spoilers for the characters of these following series.
Okay, so we're getting into Blue Lock? Okay, so Kakashi from Naruto, Yuta Kotsu from JJK, Crollo Lucifer from Hunter x Hunter. Wait, Kuroko's basketball, Kisei. But wait, who for Blue Lock? Is this is it gonna be Reo, the purple-haired guy from Blue Lock? I forget who has the copy ability in Blue Lock. So Isagi Yoichi has adaptability or whatever in spatial awareness. Who's the copycat? It's not Nagi. I'm gonna guess that he's gonna mention Rayo, the purple-haired guy, like Nagi's best friend. Because I'm pretty sure Rayo has like a copy ability in Blue Lock. Yeah, Blue Lock also just a peak manga and anime in general. Like I read the manga, it was peak. As of recently, I haven't been keeping up with the manga. I'm probably about 50 chapters behind. I'm honestly just gonna wait for the anime to come out because the anime seems to have good pacing. Um, My Hero Academia, who has a copy technique from there? It's not gonna be All for One. All for One doesn't copy techniques. I forget who has the copy ability in My Hero Academia. Is it I don't know. I don't know.
Kakashi, the copy ninja Hatake, is probably the most popular depiction of a copy character, to the point where
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
countless characters, both stronger and weaker than him, discuss the legend of the copy ninja to his face. Kakashi gets glazed for his copy abilities directly to his mitt, or if he's in earshot. Whether it's Zabuza, Kakazu, Pain, the Fourth Raikage, or Ninja Jesus,
Bro, Kakashi gets glazed by everybody. Actually insane.
it's clear he has a glaze on sight order. But now let's get into how he copies.
Bro, Kakashi was the original Gojo.
Because contrary to how it's given off, Kakashi's copy abilities really aren't anything specifically special for him. Because he has a Sharingan, he's able to copy Jutsu. And it's not even something that's specific to Obito's Sharingan either. One of the core abilities of the Sharingan lets people copy Jutsu. Now we see Sasuke do this in the Chunin exams when he copies Lee to beat the Sound Ninja in Phase 3. So in other words, it's something that anyone with a Sharingan that's skilled enough would be able to do. Now Kakashi's just a dog because it's harder to do and master jutsu you don't have an affinity for, but we'll come back to this later. In Kakashi's fights with Zabuza in the Land of Waves arc, he copies the Water Clone, the Water Dragon Jutsu, the Great Water Vortex, and then the Hidden and Mist Jutsu. Kakashi and Zabuza's Water Dragons and Great Water Vortexes seemed about even, which again is a testament to Kakashi's ability as a shinobi and not the copy component itself. The Sharingan essentially lets you memorize, anticipate, and copy enemy moves.
Doesn't Kakashi also have like a pretty high IQ according to some data books and stuff? I mean, we all know Kakashi is super skilled. Like, we all kind of knew that. It's kind of the same way we know that Itachi is super skilled, you know? It's just... they're just skilled. I mean, it's obvious.
And if you have the ability to use the nature of the jutsu you're attempting to copy, then you can copy it. Now, the thing is, every jutsu falls into a specific nature. We have fire, wind, lightning, earth, and water. Also yin and yang, but we're going to ignore that. Kakashi is a lightning chakra nature ninja, judging by how the paper wrinkled when he was helping Naruto find out his nature.
Bro, it's been so long. I forgot chakra natures were even a thing, man. I probably finished Naruto like 5 years ago or something. I forgot about like those little affinities, man.
Well, it would be better to say he has an affinity for lightning style, so that's his strongest jutsu and the easiest for him to learn. However, he can use all 5 chakra natures, which makes his copy ability as dangerous as it is. If someone with a Sharingan could only use fire nature, then the only type of jutsu they would be able to copy is fire style. So Kakashi's elite arsenal, again, is just a testament to how much of an absolute unit he is. And I would also like to point out, when Kakashi was fighting Zabuza, Zabuza uses water style. He's from the village hidden in the mist, and Kakashi was matching him in power. Again, Kakashi is a lightning style ninja, and he is copying on even playing field with somebody who uses water. Kakashi really is just a dog. What keeps the Sharingan's copy ability balanced though is, like we said before, needing the ability to use the chakra nature of the jutsu you're trying to use. What balances out Kakashi specifically though is his limited chakra pool. Kakashi doesn't have an endless amount of chakra, so he can't just continuously spam out different jutsu. In other words, imagine if someone like Naruto had the Sharingan, it would be game over. The cursed child Yuta Okotsu.
Oh yeah, it's because Naruto has like a huge chakra pool. Kind of similar to Yuta, because, bro, Yuta has a lot of cursed energy from Rika, right? I'm pretty sure Naruto would be overpowered with a Sharingan because he has Kurama, and Kurama just has, you know, a bunch of chakra within him, right? Yeah.
Feels like the perfectly balanced.
Naruto's actually similar to Yuta in that way. That's crazy to think about.
balanced copy character. Yuta is a unit
They both rely on some type of beast to essentially give them more energy, right?
with a massive curse energy pool, and he's stated to be second to only, you guessed it, Satoru Gojo in terms of the good guys. Yuta is a prodigy all things considered, reaching the level he has in only like 2 years. But
Is that a freaking lightsaber?
how do his abilities work? Now, it's interesting because I feel they've changed over time. It seemed like they worked differently in the JJK movie compared to the TV show.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So in the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, Yuta has access to a fully manifested Rika, right? The genuine queen of curses. I've watched so much informational videos on JJK. I'm pretty sure I got this down. So Yuta actually has no restrictions on his copying ability within JJK Zero. Rika can just copy anything. There's no requirements for it. What we saw in Sendai Colony is Rika is not actually fully manifested. It is a leftover like storage Rika, if that makes sense. It's like a weaker mini Rika, if that makes sense. And I don't know if Rika is a Shikigami. Technically, I don't know if the storage Rika from Sendai Colony counts as one. We'll just gloss over that. But the main point is, so in Sendai Colony, you know, Rika has to eat a part of somebody's body to actually have Yuta be able to copy the abilities, right? So that's the requirement. Rika has to consume a part of somebody's body. And then even after that, there's that 5-minute timer. And I think that's about it, really. So Sendai Colony Rika is basically just essentially weaker. There's a 5-minute limit. And, you know, what was it? There are requirements to actually copy abilities. So yeah, JJK Zero Rika is, you know, way more broken than Sendai Colony Rika.
Yuta channels his copy abilities through his Shikigami Rika. She's kind of like an excess curse energy pool for Yuta, who also holds his curse tools along with the copy techniques that he wants to use whenever she's fully manifested through his ring. That's how it works now. However, that wasn't always the case. As I said earlier, his abilities work different in the JJK movie. The movie Rika was essentially him cursing his dead friend because he couldn't accept her death, so she was a stronger version. He copied Inumaki's cursed speech via Rika creating a megaphone with his mouth marks on it. It didn't seem to be any limit or condition needed to use her.
Yeah.
But however, by the end of that movie, he frees Child Rika's soul, thus ending the curse. Because of that now, he has a weaker, well, different Rika. Realistically, it seems that she was retconned when we see her again in season 2 and 3 because Gege probably thought it was best to give her some conditions and limits before they have 2 Gojos walking around. Speaking of conditions and limits though, now not only does Rika need to ingest a piece of the person Yuta's intending to copy, but he can only use copied abilities when Rika is fully manifested through the ring, which lasts 5 minutes. Now, in my opinion, this is a good change because it creates balance. When having characters like this, especially someone as strong and gifted as Yuta, there needs to be some sort of balance. Also, it lets the audience know when Rika shows up, shit's about to get real, they're about to tee up. Like in the Sendai Colony, he calls Rika and immediately uses Inumaki and Drew's techniques. But this time, Inumaki's techniques appear on his mouth, just like Inumaki. Also, because of how strong Yuta is, it seems like he can copy people's abilities better than him. Inumaki, for example, he gets Uro to not move.
Oh, nah, that's crazy what you said there. I'm sure it's true in a weird way. It's actually crazy, though. Nah, that's still such a crazy thing to say. But yes, we do know that Yuta Kotsu is an extremely skilled sorcerer, so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Move using cursed speech, and we know Inumaki's throat probably would have exploded if he tried the same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of blowback for Inumaki using cursed speech on Hanami in season 1, but...
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was just Hanami. Imagine if Inumaki tried to do the same thing to like Uro or Jane Juliet or heck, even Kuroshi, bro. He would have been cooked.
Yuta gets no blowback at all for using cursed speech on Uro. When Uro...
Yeah, this is because Yuta is way stronger than Uro. Just on an individual level, yeah. No drawback.
Uro is significantly stronger than Hanami. Yuta's domain takes his copied abilities to another level. Spoiler warning if you don't want to be spoiled on his domain. Go to this time right here.
I think the only way Yuta would face some type of like drawback fighting Uro isn't even saying don't use your curse technique. I think the only way Yuta would really face drawback is if he said like is if Uro was in the middle of like trying to do a domain expansion and then Yuta says don't do domain expansion or cancel your domain expansion. Then I think Yuta would face some, consequences for that.
Okay, giving you guys one more second. Okay, his domain, which is called Authentic Neutral Love, has a ton of swords with curse techniques embedded in it. Yuta can use each sword but won't know what technique is in which sword until he touches it. Now, in terms of balance, we know Yuta's a powerhouse, but having the condition of needing Rika to ingest a piece of the person you're intending to copy, along with only being able to use that ability for 5 minutes, is a perfect balance in my opinion. Now we're moving on to Mr. Aura himself. We have Chrollo Lucifer.
Hey, Chrollo had a bit of aura, but I wouldn't call him like an aura man. Honestly, I'd give that to like Meruem.
The leader of the Phantom Troop. He evaded Zeno and Silva 2v1.
Bro, Chrollo definitely has an interesting character. Even after I finished the York New arc, I still felt like I just didn't really understand Chrollo's character. Like, and even if he's just interesting. I wish we like got more about him, but maybe the reason he's such a good or interesting character is the very fact that we don't know much about him or his like past ideology and such, which makes him mysterious. Kind of like Sosuke Aizen, for example,
And is a floor master at Heaven's Arena. So it's safe to say that he is incredibly strong, and maybe even more so, strategic. Chrollo's copy ability has the strongest conditions on this list. His ability Bandit Secrets lets him take and use any Hatsu of his choosing as long as certain criteria are met. However,
oh, I see. Is it like a vague certain criteria being met thing? I was assuming, I know he has to hold on to the book. That's the one thing I know.
Requires you to go to med school and pass the bar to be able to use it. All jokes aside though, he has some rough conditions to copy and even rougher conditions to use it. Also, one of the main differences is while every other character on this list just merely copies abilities, Chrollo is outright stealing them. When he steals an ability...
Wait, I did not remember that. Wait, so he's on like some all for one timing, like genuinely he will steal your ability and you won't be able to use your own ability?
The original user can no longer use it.
I did not remember this. Okay. Dang. I genuinely did not remember this. I didn't know Chrollo stole powers. Damn. Man, it's been a while.
For Chrollo to steal an ability, he needs to meet 4 conditions. Number 1, he must personally see the Nen ability.
Oh yeah, okay. This is a huge list, so yeah. I kind of feel bad for Chrollo. Except Chrollo is pretty smart, so honestly, I feel like he could still fulfill these conditions fairly easily.
He wishes to steal in action. Number 2,
yeah, that's not bad. You just gotta see the Nen ability being used. Not bad.
2, he must ask about the ability and get a response.
Okay, get a response. Not horrible, depending on who he's up against.
Response. Number 3, they must place their hand on the handprint drawn on the cover of the Bandit Secrets book.
So, yeah, I don't see this happening in battle. I don't see number 3 Oh, bro, number 4 is just all of the above must be completed within 1 hour. That's not horrible. That's really not horrible.
And number 4, all the previous conditions.
Bro, it's really not horrible. The third one is the worst one, right? The second one is kind of tricky depending on who you're fighting. So, all Chrollo has to do is he has to see the ability. He has to ask a question about the ability, and he needs a response. He needs to be answered. And then third, he somehow has to convince the person he's fighting to touch his book.
Need to have been completed in an hour. So when Chrollo steals a Nen ability, it's stored in a page inside his book. For him to use the ability that's stolen, All he needs to do is turn to the page that it's stored on. He does have one limitation though, and it's pretty hefty. It also kind of stops him from fighting at his full capabilities, because the limitation is he can't close the book when using a specific power, and he must hold the book in his right hand. In other words,
Wait, he has to hold it in his right hand specifically? Crollo can't hold the book in his left hand?
if he drops the book or loses the page, he'll lose access to the power. Further,
Bro, honestly, after hearing that, I kind of feel bad for Crollo, knowing he had to go up against I forget their names, the Zoldycks, but specifically Silva. Silva is Killua's dad, right? Silva. And then I think Zeno or Zeno, not from Dragon Ball Super, but I think Zeno is the name of the grandpa.
things that balance this out is if the original owner of said power dies, Crollo can no longer use it, except in the rare cases of when a person's nen becomes stronger after death. If that happens, then Crollo keeps it.
Oh yeah, that's called I remember watching videos on this. It's like called post. Isn't it called like post mortem nen or something? You could probably just search that up on YouTube. There should be a lot of results. But I remember hearing about this. Nen gets stronger after death. Apparently, even Hisoka, after he died in the well, I'll just say, okay, spoiler alert. But after Hisoka dies against Crollo in their little 1v1 in the manga, Hisoka like resurrects and he gets post-mortem nen. So now Hisoka is like, what, 3 times stronger or something?
The ability. Also, he must adhere to any restrictions the original user placed on the ability. For example, he can't use order stamp on corpses because the original owner viewed corpses as different than inanimate objects. Also, I am not going to talk about Bookmark, but just by hearing these absurd conditions and the way that he has to fight while using his ability, again, not talking about Bookmark, it makes sense that he's as strong as he is. He's a strategist and a powerhouse.
Yeah, Crollo is literally like, what? Isn't he a freaking specialist? Like, he's just smart. He clearly has a high IQ. Like, he seems like a manipulator. So I don't really feel like super bad about all of his conditions to steal abilities. Like, he's smart, you know?
Body. Rayo the Chameleon is the jack of all trades.
Okay, I thought so. Because I was blanking for a sec, because I was like, if not Rayo, then who else from Blue Lock has a copy ability? Yeah, so it was Rayo. It was literally Rayo, purple-haired guy.
Character from Blue Lock. Rayo initially was attached to the coattails of Nagi, and when Nagi left him behind, he was forced to evolve. That evolution turned...
Yeah, Rayo was relying on Nagi way too much, bro. Like, Rayo had to get his mentality checked, man.
Into his copy ability, the Chameleon. Rayo's ability lets him copy any player's technique, move, or style with 99% accuracy. Rayo can basically replicate techniques to a near perfect degree, though it's often said he cannot perfectly match the physical prowess or raw talent of the original players. So in other words, he can copy something like Bachira's dribbling, but he can't copy Chigiri's speed. Rayo's copy ability has insane versatility. He can adapt his playstyle regardless of who he's playing with to match any situation. He can perfectly replicate existing, proven formulas of other players. Rayo copies the techniques themselves though, rather than the thought process that leads them to get there. Say for instance, the wizardly dribbling of Bachira, or just the downright insane things that Nagi does.
Well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense though, because to copy the thought process, wouldn't Rayo kind of have to be like, you know, like a psychic or a mind reader at that point?
Rayo can copy these, but not the thought process or lines of logic that led them to be able to do the moves that they do. It's more so saying the creativity can't be copied, but the technique itself can. Even with those limitations, Rayo is again a unit on the field. Being able to copy the abilities of offense and defense allows him to fill in any gap that's needed on the field. The abilities
he's basically the Kisei of Blue Lock.
Copies are inferior when being compared to the original, but that doesn't even really matter. Rayo becomes the perfect gadget guy, striker, defender, all while showcasing the insane IQ he has on the soccer field. It makes you think, why have a specialist that can only work in one field when you can have Rayo who can beat everyone? His limitations, like we said before, are physical traits, like Baro's strength, Aoi's height, Chigiri's speed. limited to abilities he's seen rather than inventing new ones. And another thing is that like soccer is a team sport, so Rayo can't affect
Non-blue lock. Nope, soccer is not a team sport in blue lock.
everything. Unlike a 1v1 in a battle shonen, Rayo's abilities still have to work in the mindset of a team sport. Monoma is an interesting case when it comes to the copycat.
Oh shoot, this guy. Oh, this guy. I forgot this dude even existed. You know what's funny? I was slightly thinking, like, at the beginning of the video, I was like, who is he gonna bring up from My Hero Academia? Cause so yeah, he technically is a copycat, right? But he's not executed well. He's not a main character. Like, I literally forgot he existed. If that makes like, I forgot he existed, man. I only remember this guy because I forget what he copied, but he helped during like the final war. He helped Aizawa Sensei. Like, I think Monoma's eyes were red because he was copying Aizawa's technique, and he was trying to keep Shigaraki at bay, because if Shigaraki was able to use his quirks, bro, I'm telling you, everybody would have been massacred. Everybody would have died in seconds. So he actually did play a vital role towards the end of the story, but he still just wasn't a main character, which is why I didn't remember him to that huge of a degree. But yeah, he played a vital role. I'll give him that. Copied Aizawa's technique, kept Shigaraki at bay. Pretty respectable.
Character. Everyone else we've looked at thus far not only was prodigious in some way, shape, or form, but also saw themselves as just that in a way. Monoma, however, doesn't. Of course, he's still insanely talented because he did make it into the UA Hero course, but he kind of has a bit of an inferiority complex compared to the Deku and Bakugos of the world, those blessed with power.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, bro, copy is still a pretty good ability. It's still a pretty good ability. Like, I get why. Yeah, I get it. It would be awesome to have all for one or one for all or explosion. You know, these top tier quirks, half hot, half cold that Todoroki has. But like, bro, you still lucked out. You literally have the ability to copy others' abilities. Come on, man. What's the inferiority complex for?
We know this because of the inner monologues and conversations he has. Most notably the one with Shinzo, where he's saying that people like them, who aren't blessed with strength, often have to act in unheroic ways to close the gap between themselves and the blessed. However, Monoma is also very realistic with himself and his abilities. In reference to himself, he says, "It's impossible to get stronger on my own. I'm not meant to be a..."
Oh, that's actually crazy when you think about it. That line hits deep because it's actually legitimately true. Like, it's 100% true. He literally can't utilize his cursed. Shoot, I was about to say cursed technique, bro. Oh my god. JJK in my mind, rent free, man. Monoma literally can't utilize his quirk without other people. His quirk is to copy other people's quirks. He genuinely literally needs other people to be useful, to use his quirk. Oh my god, that's sad. That's a little bit sad.
Protagonist. I copy other people's quirks. Still, I don't feel bad or resent the power I was born with, because in every masterpiece ever created, there are supporting characters who outshine.
Bro, low key, is there like a limit to it? Can he not just copy all for one? Can he not just copy one for all, like low key?
Shine the leads. That was everything in terms of his mindset. Acknowledging he doesn't have an absurdly crazy powerful quirk like Deku, Bakugo, or Shoto, but still knowing that he's able to outshine the strong. Monoma's copy, though, is an interesting one. The way his quirk works is whenever he touches someone, he can use their quirk for 5 minutes. He can't use 2 at the same time, though. It's a little deeper than that, but every so often Monoma draws a blank, like when he tried to copy Deku's or Aries' quirk.
Oh, he tried to copy one for all? No wonder he drew a blank. Okay. I'm glad he at least attempted it, but yeah, one for all. The amount of training that Deku did at the beginning of My Hero Academia just to use one for all, and even then his limbs were still breaking, his joints, his fingers were breaking. Yeah, unironically, Monoma could have literally died here. Like, if he used like 100% one for all, he probably would have died.
Monoma can't copy quirks that function as stockpilers. He copies the core nature of the quirk itself, but if it's an ability that accumulates something and changes it into a form of energy, he doesn't copy the store of fuel that would make it function. So he can't copy one for all because it's a stockpile quirk. Another example that's given to us in the show is Fat Gum's quirk. Only works if he stockpiled a bunch of fat. So Monoma could
Yeah.
copy the base power, but it wouldn't be effective because he'd still be skinny. Monoma is an intelligent character though. He keeps watches on him that are timed that let him know how long he has left for each quirk, and
Smart.
he's even pretty good at hiding which quirks he's copied and even setups, like when he uses Twin Impact from the jail
Wait, does he all actually never mind.
after Ochaku.
I'm wondering, okay, so he has a timer for how long he can use it. I was wondering if he could literally just like continuously use copied quirks that he has copied, but I guess not.
Restrains him during the joint exercise in season 5. Like we said before though, the Phantom Thief's copy limitations are that he can only do it for 5 minutes. I think he gets it to 10 minutes, and that he can only copy 4 quirks at once. Once the time limit expires, he loses access to the ability unless he's physically making contact with the user again. He can effectively bypass this by just maintaining contact. So if he's trying to use Aizawa's quirk, you just continuously touch him and you can keep using the quirk like they did in the final battle. Monoma having like a decided amount of quirks he can copy along with the time limit balances him out from being crazy broken. The fact that he can't just copy stockpile quirks too shows that Horikoshi was intentional with not making him too cracked, but still making him nice. Last but not least, we have Kisei. Kisei is interesting because a lot of his growth is mentality based. He initially calls himself the worst member of the Generation of Miracles, and he's also been playing.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. I don't know why he's unironically one of the strongest. Like towards the end of Kuroko's basketball, he might be even stronger than that guy with the red eyes. I don't remember his name. Like, there's this red-haired guy who was like the leader of the Generation of Miracles. Ironically, I don't remember his name, but I think his ability was just to like see the future. I don't even remember the red guy's ability. I think he could like command people to do stuff or see the future a bit, or I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember. But yeah, Kisei saying that he is the worst in the Generation of Miracles is just such a crazy statement. I would argue it's either the green-haired guy who always Midoriya, what is his name? Midormia? The green-haired guy with glasses who always shoots threes. Either he's the worst, or it's the guy with purple hair, the tall defender, Murasaki.
Basketball the least amount of time. Since Kisei is the first member of the generation that we meet, and since he lost to Kuroko and Kagami early on, he was much more motivated than the other members of the group to actually improve. And he's known to have just as much talent and potential as Aomine, so adding a crazy work ethic to that doesn't shock me.
I think the only people on the Generation of Miracles better than like a fully awakened Kisei with all abilities is like, I think it's really only Aomine. I think Aomine is the only one who can stand up against a like fully awakened copied Kisei. And maybe the leader, maybe the guy with red hair, but I still don't think so.
Any way, shape, or form that he improved as much as he
Not this guy with red hair. The Generation of Miracles, the short guy with red hair.
did. Kisei's copy ability lets him take a play he sees and copy it in an instant. He's very, very similar to Ryo. He did it to Kagami early on in the series, but a funny thing about it is very likely that he actually surpasses the original person's move, because Kagami notes that Kisei is smoother than him while having the power to match.
Crazy.
Kisei's only real limitation is being comparable to the target's physical abilities, so as long as it isn't something that Kisei isn't physically able to do, he can steal it. Kisei's also more physically gifted than like 99.9% of the people that he's going against, so there really isn't much he can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the only person he's not as physically gifted as is maybe like Aomine in like maybe Murasaki, the tall purple haired defender.
Can't copy aside from like the other generations. for now, and NBA players. Kisei also might just be the best athlete out of all the Generation of Miracles, because we see him copying soccer, so we know that it goes further than just basketball. And the reason why he wanted to play basketball was because of Almine. So now we're going to discuss something called the Almine Wall. Basically, when he's going against Almine, he could never copy him. He needed to get past this mental wall that's put up because of the admiration that he had. Once he gets over that though, he's able to copy him. Kisei essentially says that when you admire someone, you won't be able to surpass them. And it's kind of like the Flash. In the comics after...
Bro, yeah, bro, it actually kind of reminds me of the freaking 1,000-Year Blood War, Kenpachi versus the little blonde-haired guy who could turn his imagination into reality. I don't remember his name because he was kind of a side character. But, you know, Kenpachi versus the guy who brings his imagination into reality, right? The guy, the blonde-haired kid or whatever, who can bring his imagination into reality, he kept putting Kenpachi on this huge pedestal. He said Kenpachi was a monster. He said Kenpachi was super strong. He just kept glazing him. It was like Gojo Satoru levels of glaze that he was giving Kenpachi. And in the end, the reason he got defeated is because he couldn't imagine himself being stronger than Kenpachi Zaraki. Like, it's actually just insane, bro.
After Barry dies, Wally West takes over. He has mental blocks where he basically subconsciously couldn't, or rather wouldn't, pass Barry. Eventually he gets over it and showcases that he's been the...
Bro, sometimes it's always just a mentality issue. Like, it's so crazy, but it really is just sometimes the way you think.
Fastest all along. Kisei eventually unlocks Perfect Copy while playing against someone with similar abilities to his. I think his name was...
Wait, so he was able to copy Murasaki then. Okay. Okay, I guess Kisei does have similar physicals to Murasaki, hence why he was able to copy the ability, right? Okay. I'm a little bit surprised because I know Kisei has a lot of muscle, but just isn't this guy like 7 feet tall? And it looks like his arms are like double the size of Kisei's.
Saizaki. Perfect Copy is where he can in fact copy...
But yeah, bro, if we're ranking the Generation of Miracles, sadly, Midoriya, yeah, forget it. I don't remember how to pronounce this guy's name, and I don't remember his full name. I think it's Midoriya. Whatever. This guy's the weakest. Actually, listen, these two are the weakest, right? Between them, you guys can pick. But these two up here are the weakest in the Generation of Miracles, right? He can shoot threes, which is cool. He can defend, which is cool. But they're just the weakest overall. Now, after this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets tricky. I really would... Okay, towards the end of the series, I believe Kisei is like the strongest, right? You know what? I'm gonna go Kisei number 1. I'm gonna put this guy at number 2, the leader of the Generation of Miracles. I'm gonna have Almine right after that. Of course, Almine is... you know, extremely good at basketball. He is, you know, he's just in the middle when it comes to the Generation of Miracles. After Almine, I'm going to go with him, the 3-point guy, and I'm going to have Murasaki last, sadly, because the issue with this dude is he's good at defending, but I don't think he's able to do anything else. And end of the day, like, it's cool that you're good at defending, but it just feels weird to put him above him, you know? Like, I feel like it would just be wrong. Like, we saw him a lot more throughout the series. So if I put Murasaki, you know, over this guy, I would just feel bad about it. But, I mean, ultimately, it's all just kind of opinion, right?
All of the Generation of Miracles moves perfectly. He can even use them in conjunction with each other. So yes, he can use something like Akashi's handles with Midorima's shot, or any combination of...
Midorima? Wait, pronounce that again?
So yes, he can use something like Akashi's handles with Midorima's shot.
Even he couldn't really pronounce it. Like, it sounded a little weird. Midori... Whatever. I give up. Who cares? Who cares, man? Who cares? He's just... Whatever.
or any combination of their abilities together.
Nobody even cares about the green-haired guy that much anyways. Who cares?
However, because it's extremely taxing on the body, he can only use Perfect Copy for, you guessed it, 5 minutes. However, for those 5 minutes, he is invincible. This reminds me of what I said with Yuta, where now when you see Kisei activate Perfect Copy, or when characters have the time limit that they actually start, you know, okay, shit's getting real. It's getting serious. Also, I just want to point out, Perfect Copy Kisei was on par with Zone Almine, and when Kisei...
Yeah, bro, I knew it, because, Kisei just, towards the end of the series, he just got incredibly strong overall, so I'm not really surprised by that statement, and yeah, that's actually insane. If he's on par with Almine in the zone, that's crazy. That's crazy. I love how all sports animes kind of have the zone, or what we call flow, right? Blue Lock has the flow state, right? It's even in real life, athletes have this flow state, this zone, right? Where they just kind of connect with the world, and they just flow naturally. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a state of euphoria. It's kind of like how Gojo underwent his awakening against Toji in Hidden Inventory, and then we saw Gojo just being like, oh, I'm not even mad about you, Amane. I just feel like everything feels so wonderful right now. Toji literally said that Gojo was high.
Gets in the zone with Perfect Copy, just wrap it up. The limitations, like we talked about for Perfect...
Wait, oh yeah, that's actually crazy. Wait, so Kisei can use his zone and still have Perfect Copy. I think he's pretty much the strongest in the Generation of Miracles for those 5 minutes. If Kisei is in the zone and he has all his copy abilities for 5 minutes, I think he's even stronger than the freaking red-haired dude.
Copy, just wrap it up. The limitations, like we talked...
Bro, you got to put that into perspective. Kisei is stronger than the literal leader, the short guy with red hair. He is stronger than the leader of the generation of Miracles, man.
Talked about for Perfect Copy is Kisei's stamina, his risk of injury, and the strain on his body, and most importantly, the 5-minute timeline. So at the end of the day, copy characters, they are different. Yeah, people love to say that they lack originality, that they're just borrowing greatness instead of kind of creating their own, but honestly...
In terms of execution, honestly, I think Mikage Reo is really well executed. I would say Yuta Okotsu isn't that well executed as a copy character. Crollo is extremely well executed as a copy character due to the amount of conditions he must fulfill, and simply him having to hold on to the book as well to maintain the ability. Crollo is one of the best executed copycats in anime. Kisei from Kuroko no Basket is also extremely well executed, for sure. If I had to rank them, I would say the best executed copycat is going to be Crollo. Right after that, it's Kisei from Kuroko no Basketball. Right after that, it's going to be Kakashi Sensei from Naruto. Then it's gonna be Reo Mikage from Blue Lock up here, and then in 5th place we got to go with Yuta Okotsu. I'm sorry.
Why would you even care about originality when you can beat everyone? That's what makes this archetype so fun. And
I don't hate Yuta. It's just that in terms of execution of being a copycat, he is the worst here.
Dangerous. They're not locked into one ability, one style, or one way of fighting. They're the type to where they can adapt on the fly, they can pull out a bag of tricks here and there.
Honestly, if you wanted to, you could argue that Kisei is a better executed copycat than Crollo, and I wouldn't get mad.
And they take what makes you special and uses it against you, sometimes even better. And the part that isn't talked about enough is how skilled you actually have to be. To be one of these copycat characters, you can't just steal abilities. You have to actually understand how they work.
Oh, I also forgot about Motama, the guy from My Hero Academia. I would put the guy from My Hero Academia, the blonde guy, copycat, whatever. I guess I would put him I would actually put him below Yuta Okotsu. So I'll say Modama is the worst. The guy from My Hero Academia, he's the worst. Yuta Okotsu is the second worst in terms of execution.
How to somewhat master them. You have to put in the time and the work to be able to use different people's powers that don't even feel natural to you. So while they might look like a jack of all trades, master of none, a lot of the times, bro, they're masters of all. So to end this off, we have a lot of characters who are super arrogant and full of themselves with their strength, like Almine, for instance, who will say things like, the only one who can beat me is me. But the question is, what if they can beat you? Now what? Thank you guys for tuning
Damn.
in. If you made it to the end of the video, comment should.
Damn, bro. Honestly, low key perfect response from Kisei, to what Almin said. The only one who can beat me is me, and then Kisei just instantly copies Almin and becomes him.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me grow. And thank y'all, man. Stay tuned.
Honestly, great video, man. And that was the art of the copycat. So, no huge takeaways from this. Ultimately, well, actually, one main thing is to have a well executed copycat character, make them have some pretty strenuous conditions for sure. But yeah, ultimately, all I really have to say is Crollo and Kisei are the best executed here for sure.